Hey creative friends, welcome to my channel and welcome to another year of awesomeness at Spamtember. And I love that Mary Ellen over at Prepper Potpourri puts this collaboration together because it's fun. But it's really kind of cool that this recipe, this collaboration is all about Spam, because this is such an easy to get product. It's almost in every single store you go to. And there's different varieties. I'm using Spam Light in my recipes only because it's less fat, less sodium, and fewer calories, which I think is probably a good idea for me. But there's lots of ways to use it. And in this this recipe that I'm going to do for you is kind of a Hawaiian skillet situation. And basically what I have here is I have a cup of chopped fresh pineapple and a cup of chopped fresh mango. And in the description will be a printable link for this recipe. There will also be a link to all the other channels that are participating, and you really need to go over there. You need to like and subscribe their channels because it's just great and it helps us all out who have these YouTube channels. And secondly, if you comment on those, you're going to be in a drawing for one of these. Woohoo! You know what this is? This is a lunch meat slicer, which is perfect for Spam. And I actually have this to go with my musubi set, which another video that I'll do will be that. So, but for now, I've got a can of Spam, a cup of fresh cut pineapple, and a cup of fresh cut mangoes. You could use canned if you want. And for spices, there is half a teaspoon of paprika. Smoked paprika adds a nice flavor. A half a teaspoon of garlic salt, but I use garlic powder because you also add a half a teaspoon of salt. And I'm just trying to cut the salt back. And a half a teaspoon of cumin. You also want to have some rice made because this is going to go on top of the rice. So I've got my Spam opened. And now, I forgot to get my little, I need to get my little thing that I'll just go around it with a knife. Hang on a second, I got to get something so I can get the Spam out of the can. Here we go. If you have trouble getting your Spam out of your can, just use your knife. So what we're going to do with this is basically we're just going to cut the Spam into nice pieces. We're going to put it in the skillet with that pineapple and the mango and the spices, and we're just going to kind of let it brown for about 6 or 8 minutes. There we go. You can see how it's coming out of there. There you go. Now you can see. Anyway, so we're just going to let it brown. And then, watch this. This is so awesome. I always just kind of hold it back to get a good start on it. And there we go. Down through the Spam. Bink. So there you have your Spam. Now I'm going to just turn it this way and cut across here. I would just lay it on the slicer to make these extra cuts, but it will cut them too small. And I like them a little bit bigger. There you go. That's it. So those are going to go in here. Oh, I guess I could cut them a little bit. Let me cut them into squares. No worries. But see, you don't have to cut nearly as much when you have that little slicer. So you want to make sure you comment on every video so that you can be in the drawing for this awesome lunch. It's a lunch meat slicer, but it's perfect for Spam. There we go. I'm going to cut in here. We lived in Hawaii for several years, and there were so many good things that they make with Spam. It's like the best. And sometimes, you know, there's those restaurants that are like the little lunchbox Spam or Hawaiian restaurants that you can go to, and they feature lots of Spam things. That's a good place to get some ideas as well. But there's just going to be tons of great recipes in this collaboration. Now I've already got some rice made too. All right, so now I've got that in there. And basically, it's just a matter of getting it all nice and browned. So I'm going to now take this all over to the stove and get this on the burner. And once it gets a little bit, you know, starting to release some juices and stuff, that's when I'll put in the spices. So let me bring you over there and we'll take a look. All right, here we are. And I actually I had to add about a tablespoon of olive oil to this. And I think it's because I have the light Spam, which has less fats in it. So there's a thing. But if you have to add a little, you can. And at this point also, I just have it on medium. While you're cooking it, if you want to, you could add anything you want. You could add a little soy sauce. You could add some maybe some yakisoba sauce, anything that you think would taste good this way. This is also a nice blend, just to, speaking of yakisoba, this is a nice blend just to put with some yakisoba noodles. You could even just mix it up with some spaghetti noodles that you've cooked and kind of just add the sauces that you want. But I'm going to let this cook until it's nice and brown. I might have to add a little bit more oil. See, there's a little learning. I've never used the light Spam before. Clearly, there's not as much oil or fats in here. So we'll just monitor it. I'll just keep doing it until it's nice and brown. And what I'm looking for, I saw a couple pieces. What I'm looking for is for it to get nice and brown, kind of like that. So we'll get that nice and brown, and I'll come back to you when we're at that point. And it looks like the pineapples are starting to release some juices too, so this is going to work just fine. All right, I've just added the spices now. So it's browning up and it's smelling great, and so I'll just keep cooking it until it's just the kind of brown that I like as far as frying my Spam. Some people like it super done and some people like it lightly done. So I'll come back to you as soon as I get it to the point that I'm happy. Okay, I think it looks perfect. So I'm going to plate it up with some rice and I'll show you what it looks like all plated up and ready to eat. All right, here we are, done with our Hawaiian skillet. Now, another thing you could do is you could put a little bit of green pepper in there if you want. I'm putting a little bit of soy sauce. You could put a balsamic glaze over the top if you have it. I don't, so I'm just adding some soy sauce. And I will show you the finished product. Here you go. It looks delicious and it tastes delicious. It's really easy to make, and you can tweak it. You could put peas in there. You could put anything you want in there just to make it more the way you want it, but it is a good thing. And it's super easy, and it's done with Spam, and this is Spamtember. So as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.